we always talk about what is the most important position in professional sports. We talk about this all the time. We talk about pitching because pitching really wins championships. You watch baseball all these years. The dominant pitching staff usually beats the best lineup in professional baseball. So you always look for the two top pitchers, and you look at, like for instance, you talk about the Nationals. The Nationals had arguably the best rotation in baseball last year, adding Corbin. And you saw what that pitching staff could do back-to-back-to-back times in a playoff series. It's just complete domination with pitching. And that's what happens. That's what you need. But that's baseball. The best player in baseball is not a pitcher. He's a hitter. He's a center fielder on the Angels. Mike Trout. And then we talk about what Garrett Cole got, the $336 million contract from the New York Yankees for the 9-year deal, which made absolutely no sense as a Yankee fan, even though he was an awesome and available pitcher the Yankees needed to pick up to give them that boost to possibly giving them their next championship. But I don't even think baseball, when you talk about pitching, is the most important, most strategic position you need to win championships. You talk about hockey, and everybody talks about, well, goaltending is the most important thing. You get a hot goalie going into the playoffs, he'll take you all the way to a championship and win you championships. You don't need the best player if you have a hot goaltender or a good goaltender. And everybody says to have the backbone of a goaltender right behind you, you know that's going to be there, reliable for you for years and years and years. That's the guy you want over the big-time goal scorer or the best defensive player. You want the guy that's going to keep you in games no matter what. Goaltending, hockey. And then you talk about all the other sports, football being the other one. And we don't get into basketball because
they can win with anything.
You can win with anything. Everybody says the most important position in basketball is the point guard position. It's an important position, but you need good positions in every single position that you have on your team. Just a lot of depth.
I think that when you look at it, the best players and most well-rounded players are either shooting guards or small forwards for the most part.
Exactly. But football, everybody says the quarterback. To have a star quarterback gives you the best chance of winning a Super Bowl. Now, over the years, you look at the contracts, the crazy contracts these starting quarterbacks are getting now, which is ridiculous. You have quarterbacks who are not even amongst the league's best asking for $40 million right now.
Mm-hmm. And
he thinks he's going to get it. And maybe if he has another good season, the Cowboys or somebody else will give him that. But who knows? $40 million for a Dak Prescott, I think they're out of their minds. But that's just me. But I'll tell you this right now. Everybody says it's the quarterback, and I don't think it's the quarterback in football. I really don't. You look at free agency, and you watch in football. Now you're seeing the free agency market just completely spiral out of control. You're seeing this guy move over here, that guy move over there. How many times did we see that 6, 7, 8 years ago? We never saw that. We see one or two moves in the offseason, and that's it. Now, free agency, this guy gets picked up by this team. This guy gets picked up from that team. It becomes a free-for-all for teams and organizations.
Players are becoming fussier. That's what it is.
Yeah, they're becoming prima donnas like Odell Beckham. But again, you look at the quarterback position, everybody says, that's the position. That's what I want to be. Russell Wilson had a choice between playing professional baseball as a second baseman and maybe have to wait a couple of years in the farm systems and build up a rapport and get an opportunity to be a major league player, or decide to do what he did and became a quarterback in the NFL. And you talk about Kyler Murray. Everybody talks about how great Kyler Murray was and this and that at baseball. He decided to give up $5 million of a bonus contract he got from who? What team?
Oakland.
just to get out of contract to become a starting quarterback in the NFL.
Well, they make
Why?
first-round money. That makes sense.
Well,
If you're gonna go
why? Think about it this way. He could have been a bigger superstar. You make more guaranteed money as a professional baseball player.
You do, but I'm saying in terms of minor leagues versus the first-round
the
pick
A's aren't
money-
going to pay you anyway, so the A's aren't going to give you a lot of money.
No, I'm not even saying that. I'm saying first-round pick money versus minor league contract money, even with the $5 million bonus, is going to be more. So if Kyler Murray figures out that the NFL maybe is too physical for him or he doesn't fit there or whatever, after his rookie contract, he might even shift back and go back into baseball and try to get into it maybe as a late bloomer type. And then
No,
he'll get
he
his
won't
money.
do that. He won't.
I
do
can
that.
see that. Yeah, I can see that happening.
I can't see it happening.
Because he is young enough and he's fast enough.
But that
where I
has
think
nothing
that
to
could
do with
happen.
the argument of the most important position in professional sports. I mean, I ask you guys, and I know a lot of people will argue the points that it is the quarterback. It is the quarterback. That's what I want to be. That's where I want to run the organization. I want to be the face of the organization. When I will tell you this, in more cases than none in professional football, the quarterback is not the face of the organization. Go look at the teams right now in football and tell me how many quarterbacks are the face of their organization now. And my answer would be not more than 12. Not more than 12. To me, there are only 5 or 6 elite quarterbacks in the NFL. And then to me, they go from elite to great to good to okay. And to bad. And I will tell you this, there is not a bad quarterback in the NFL. There really isn't. I'm not talking about the backup quarterbacks. I'm talking about starting quarterbacks. There are not bad quarterbacks in the NFL that are starting for an NFL team. There really isn't. Or they wouldn't be starters on those teams.
Yeah, there's a lot of spots that aren't open right now
Yeah,
because
there's no superstar quarterbacks.
Right, there's
really
probably
that you could really oppose to think besides the old ones and maybe a few new ones.
Right, there's probably 40 quarterbacks just across the league that are capable starters, whether they're good starters or not. At least they're capable starting quarterbacks. There's, again, young players with upside. There's obviously the star starting quarterbacks. So that immense to so much, where previously we were seeing teams have to experiment with quarterbacks and have a lot of bad starting quarterbacks around the league.
And to me, when you look at the quarterback position, it is an important position. But now when you look at football, teams are starting to say, you know what? If I build around an offensive line, a good offensive line with one big-time superstar that nobody even talks about, and he's every year an all-pro player, a Pro Bowl player, and I could build around that one player, I can win championships doing it that way with a good quarterback.
Problem
not a
is
great
with that is
quarterback.
offensive line is also a team unit, though, so one player doesn't necessarily save
But
everybody else.
But
depending
one
on how
guy
good the
can
rest of the
help
line.
build a line through that guy.
Right. I'm just saying you can't have 4 awful ones out after that either. You still need to have some level of decent ones beyond that.
And that's why when you watch Phillip Rivers this year, and I'm going to tell you this and take this to the bank, with that offensive line, Phillip Rivers is going to have a great season with the Indianapolis Colts. I'm telling you guys this right now, and I will go straight out there to say this. If that offensive line is as dominant as it's been in the last couple of years, and it has been, and I'm not talking about Brissett, because Brissett was not a starting quarterback in the NFL. He's not. Phillip Rivers is a starting quarterback. Now, is it the same Phillip Rivers we remember 7-8 years ago? It isn't.
It's the same one in close games.
But he's a great quarterback that will have weapons to throw to. T.Y. Hilton, he hasn't had a speedy wide receiver like that. Now, he's had good wide receivers, but a guy like T.Y. Hilton, who's one of the best route runners in football. Mm-hmm. And
Deep
to me,
threats, too.
but he is a route runner. Mm-hmm. This guy can run every single route and be as dominant, and everybody knows the ball's going to him, and you still can't stop him. So having a player of that magnitude, he hasn't had a player like that since Tomlinson. The explosion of what he could do in the backfield. And Melvin Gordon he's a great running back, but he's not LaDainian Tomlinson. No. LaDainian Tomlinson did everything. Wide receiver was a wide receiver. You can do everything with the LaDainian Tomlinson. He was so explosive. He hasn't had a player like this. And now T.Y. Hilton, he's in the prime of his career. This could absolutely help the Colts this year with that Reich offense. And Reich, he knows Reich's offense. I think he could be unbelievable this year. Indianapolis could be one of the teams to watch this year, especially with their schedule.
Mm-hmm. It'll just be a matter of if he can win close games. Is that a Chargers problem, or is it a him problem, or is it both? We don't know, because that'll ultimately be the difference in what is still a pretty good division, and a division where the head-to-head matchups will matter if they want to win that division over the Titans or the Texans.
Well, I'm not even talking about that, and I'm not getting into next year or when the football season starts. I'm not even getting into that. What I'm trying to say is the quarterback position is an important position, but there are 20 or 30 other positions on a team that you're going to have to look at now from organizations and say, well, maybe that's the most important position. So the two positions that I feel are the most important positions in professional sports is one, pitching, and two, goaltending.
Okay, goaltending was my number one.
And I'll tell you, I'm not taking away from how important a quarterback is, but we've seen plenty of years where a quarterback, not a superstar quarterback, wins Super Bowls. Peyton Manning, when he won his last Super Bowl, he wasn't a superstar quarterback. He wasn't even a great quarterback at that time.
He was getting outperformed by Brock Osweiler that year.
So just think about it that way. And he won a Super Bowl because of a great defense. Mm-hmm. And what the defense did in the playoffs was absolutely amazing. And Von Miller was a tomahawk torpedo. That's what he was. So, it isn't the quarterback anymore, because you need to fill in specific positional players if you expect to win. Now, everybody thinks, because Tom Brady's going to the Bucs, they're going to win a Super Bowl. Now, I'll just let you guys know something. Tom Brady is a great quarterback. He'll always be looked at as one of the greatest quarterbacks to ever play the game. He's going to an offense he's never played under. He's also going to an offense that he has not played under in his career. He's played in a different style of offense, a different game style and the way they make the calls. And he's not calling the plays. Bruce Arians is calling the plays. And you know Bruce. Bruce is not going to tolerate Tom Brady standing at the line of scrimmage and screaming at him like he did to Bill Belichick all those years. Because Bruce Arians doesn't take crap like that.
I trust Bruce Arians more than I trust Josh McDaniels. So
he's not going to sit there and say, okay, Tommy. Okay, Tommy. That's what I will tell you that.